Greetings from Storybrooke. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And this is a picture from up inside Zelina. We also talk about ABC's hit series, Once Upon a Time. How you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm great now that you used that line.
Can you believe that they had that line on a show?
I thoroughly enjoyed Hook's reaction. Whoa, mate.
Hey, chill out, dude. Maybe not use that language. Yes, but we're here to talk Once Upon a Time like we always are. I'm so excited. We're here, let's see, what is it? Monday night, 8:30 p.m. EST at live.universebox.com with our chat. We have some Sage, some Bobby, some Hope, some Angel, some Liz, some Monica, some Sage of Earth. Amy. Lots of people, and we love having you guys over there at live.universebox.com. Also, welcome to anybody who might be catching us on the Alpha Geek Radio special events feed, where we have an audio stream now. And if you want to check that out, if you can't make it live for YouTube, which we have a video tonight, a value add, you can check out the audio stream over at alphageekradio.com, and you can find out all the ways you can do it through your phone, Roku, all that stuff at tunein.alphageekradio.com. But I guess that about does it for the preamble. Liz in the chat room says she almost spit out her wine. That's fine.
That's fine. That's fair. Don't waste the wine, though.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. You want to take us away with our rhyming episode summary?
Dark Swan is desperate to break loose her sword. She's swinging an axe to claim her reward. Meanwhile, Arthur and David are lurching towards a magic mushroom after careful researching. Who stole the magic bean from the reliquary? The squire? Who knew the young knave was prone to conspire? Emma tempts Hook with a date that is garrulous. Charming gets a new chair in Siege Perilous.
Siege Perilous! Rhymes with garrulous.
Did I do it right?
Close.
I practiced like close. 5 times.
Siege Perilous.
Siege Perilous.
Siege Perilous.
Like, really?
Emery, what'd you think?
I loved this episode. Mm-hmm. Like, last week, I think I was, like, all by myself on an island of I don't care. And this week, I'm like, yes! And possibly my favorite thing, Doctoberfest. Doctoberfest.
That was pretty solid. That was definitely pretty solid.
The reaction of Charming going, oh, I remember. I want a flashback to Doctoberfest.
There were some regrets that night.
There were some regrets that night.
Also in the chat room, they're saying, is referencing the line we opened the episode with. That was one of the best lines of the night from Hope. And then Sage of Earth says, I missed that line in the episode, but I didn't miss it when Bill said it. And Killian's look was priceless when that happened. It was a sonogram. It was
fantastic.
It was a sonogram.
I like that he thought he had to tell him how to use a phone. And Robin goes, I know how to use a phone. I'm like, whoa, hey, I lived in New York for a month or something.
Okay, well, overall, I really enjoyed the episode, too. I thought it was kind of paid off a lot of my theories from last week, which is always good.
You're really good at that. Like, you would think you were, like, an author or something.
Possibly. Maybe I am, but I broke the pen. No, but one of the theories that I brought up last week that kind of bore fruit this week, and a lot of you guys had this too, was that Arthur, he might not be the knight in shining armor we all thought he was.
He's not. Well, his armor's never been shining; it's always black.
Very true.
So right there, we should have probably caught on when
should have guessed it.
One of the heroes shows up in all black.
Plus, his teeth are way too white.
Right, because that's it.
Way too big.
Right.
They're almost comically.
Oh my. Smarmy McArthurson.
Yeah, but Arthur the villain was kind of introduced in this episode right towards the end. First of all, like I said, totally saw this coming last week. Yeah. But I want to know, and Lancelot referenced this towards the end of the episode. Lancelot.
Let's give this quotes for now.
But I want to know what makes Arthur a villain in Camelot. Like, obviously, we see him do some really shady stuff in Storybrooke.
Yes.
That would kind of lend himself to being a villain. But I want to know why he's a villain in Camelot, because I don't think his motives are completely pure evil. Like, I mean, I know he's shady, but I think he's shady for the best reasons. So
maybe
basically, what got me kind of thinking this is, he lands in Storybrooke without any memories, his people displaced. Then he realizes that the people who brought him there lied to him about their daughter being the Dark One. All he can remember is that they were like, no, she's, we don't have the Dark One. There's a savior and there's our daughter, but, there's no funny business here. And they completely lied to him. So from that perspective, our heroes probably seem like the bad guy to Arthur.
Possibly, but I'm not actually convinced that he didn't retain memories.
I could see that too. Like I kind of got the impression that, I have one piece of evidence that he doesn't have his memories.
Okay.
It's that he let Charming take the mushroom.
That was my own. Yeah. That's my only quibble.
Because if he remembered the mushroom, he wouldn't have let Charming take it because he stole the mushroom from Charming to begin with.
Yes, but actually, I think I talk about this later. But it's relevant now. They haven't talked about any of the prophecies. None of them know why they need this mushroom. Mm-hmm. They know they have the mushroom, but until Arthur fills in the fact that Merlin's a tree.
Well, the thing is, though, is that they kind of, when they find that page marked in the book, Regina, I think it's Regina, is like, we could use this to contact Merlin because it's used to talk between realms and through magical curses and all of that. So they know that the mushroom they still know the mushroom can be used to talk to Merlin. Yeah. They just don't know that Merlin's a tree.
Yeah, there was other things. Hold on, I wrote down because Anne-Marie, the land of the quotes. I think Arthur has his memories, at least some. They lied to us in Camelot. So he at least remembers a little bit, which is why I think it's so weird that none of them have mentioned the fact that Merlin is a tree.
Well, yeah, I guess most of their memories kind of break up when they're walking
in.
Well, I think they had discussed Regina being the savior.
Yeah.
All introduced everybody, and no one not introduced anybody as the Dark One before that. Right.
I don't know. I'm not 100% convinced. They're still up to something.
I'm just saying, it really got me thinking that, Arthur's shady, for sure. Mm-hmm. Even in the flashback, he was pretty shady with Charming. But I think his main concern lies in protecting his kingdom and his position in it. His position as king, which, we've seen this entire season so far. Even when he found Excalibur broken, he was like, okay, I'm not going to tell anybody because I don't want my kingdom to be without a king. So I think, even though like asking the squire to drink the poison was a little icky, a little over the line, especially for modern sensibilities, I honestly think he might have been doing it for the good of his people. And I'll get to my theories about Lancelot in a little bit, but I think maybe Lancelot might be a little shady too. But if Arthur is a villain, was his plan all along to make Storybrooke the new Camelot, or is he improvising this as he goes?
I think that depends on where his memories lie. Mm-hmm. I think that if he has memories, then maybe it was something, whatever happened in Camelot that we probably won't find out for 6 more episodes or something. Because they're slowly moving day by day. Day by day. Sorry. Then he was like, all right, we got to start over. Mm-hmm. And like somehow worked out a deal with Emma because we've yet to see them interact in Storybrooke. Yeah. But they refer to each other, but not, I don't know. There's things going on. I don't know what they are, but I want to see.
By the way, Hoops 900 in the chat room. How you doing, Hoops? I just listened to your voicemail a couple minutes ago, or at least got it ready for the show. So, but it's interesting to see how Arthur is going to go one way or the other. For sure. Okay. Charming.
Love everything about Charming in this episode. And I know there are going to be people like spewing venom at me, perhaps viper venom. But I love the fact that we got so much energy and emotion and action out of him. All like he was protect the child. He was the father doing anything to protect his child in this episode, while also discovering who the heck he is. And not settling for, basically, as he said, I don't want to be known as the prince who kissed a sleeping princess 30 years ago. Yeah. Yes. Like, why has it taken so long for you to show all of this? So that was fun. I like that in Camelot, as soon as he finds out that there is a magic toadstool or mushroom or shroom, whatever, that could help, he's out the door before anybody, like, Snow's like, no, let's just wait. He's like, nah, here's the kid. I'm out of here. I was like, okay, proactive, because he's just standing around while all the women folk are, like, searching through books, except for Emma, which we'll talk about. Like, I like that he took advantage, like, he was like, all right, this is a thing I can do, and he takes off. However, his outfit looked like the top of the toadstool.
Well, he's probably kind of antsy. It's been a long time since he's been on. He's gone on a good questing mission. For sure. Like I mean, he's been sheriffish, or at least partners with Emma in Storybrooke. But that's not really the same as like fighting evil knights in a swamp kind of thing.
Which I think the entire like sheriff of Storybrooke anymore, I think it's just somebody who shows up in that office and is responsible for actually locking the door of the jail.
Yeah.
Because
whoever's on the outside of the cell.
Yeah, seriously, like there's no petty theft. There's just massive betrayal and dark villains and the such. Like, we don't need somebody to take care of speeders. Like, let's just move on with that. Storybrooke. His quick thinking with the Doctoberfest chalice,
really
the horse and the car chase, the scooping up the toadstool. That was all fun and exciting. You're turning my volume down because I'm loud and excitable tonight.
That's fine.
It was really, really fun to watch him climb out the truck window and joust with a 2x4. However, his choice of leaving the steering to Arthur was insane. The man has no idea what vehicle he's in. I'm surprised he knew how to get in. And you're like, here, just keep it going and turn around. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
that was weird.
It should have been the other way around, because I mean Arthur probably is pretty good with core muscle strength and swinging things, where Charming knows how to drive.
Yeah. And I already talked about those 2 points. So on to you, sir.
I will say that Liz in the chat room was kind of like, how could have poisoning the squire been for the good of Arthur's people? Well, like Arthur said, they would have gotten that information out of him eventually, be it through a magical enticement or something, and he needed to protect the fact that he was onto them. If he was of the mindset that the Charmings and everybody in Storybrooke were the bad guys, and that he was trying to save Camelot, from all of our heroes, all of our stories' heroes. But okay, so
they're making Mean Girls references with Arthur. Arthur to Lancelot, you can't sit with us. On Wednesdays we wear gold armor instead of we wear pink. I love it.
Nice.
Okay,
so Lancelot is still alive?
Question mark?
Yeah. So the last we knew about Lancelot, Cora had him killed a long time ago. Remember when Emma and Mary Margaret came over into Misthaven, and they ran into Cora and Hook, and all that stuff happened.
Many moons ago.
Season 2, I think, or no, season 3.
3.
Season 3?
2.
2? Season 2.
2.5. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go with season 2. But anyway, Cora disguised herself as Lancelot. And then once she was revealed, she was like, I killed him a long time ago. Because Snow and Lancelot and Charming,
they were buddies.
They were buddy for a while there. But, I'm wondering if this was actually the real Lancelot. Because one, Cora's prone to lie.
She tends to lie.
So, I mean, that throws it into the question right there, whether Lancelot ever died at all.
Well, we always questioned that.
Yeah.
Because we're like, she said he killed him, but no body, no death.
Yeah, but for one thing, though, is we've never got a really good explanation why the people of Camelot, including this Lancelot, never aged during the curse years. Were they in that protective curse bubble? Like, I don't know if Camelot's that close to Misthaven or not. They still haven't really established that.
Yes, because if they were close, then shouldn't they know, who each other are?
Yeah.
Aren't Snow and Prince Charming a big deal?
We know that Arendelle, the timelines matched up because it was frozen. Like, they were frozen for all those years. Like, literally frozen.
Literally frozen.
But I don't think this was Lancelot, though, just because if you notice...
The smoky
Yeah,
thing.
there's just like this little shadowy figure moving through the scene right before Lancelot pops out. So I'm thinking it might be a shapeshifter or...
But who's the shapeshifter?
I don't know. The only person I can think who does shapeshifting at all in that castle right now is Alina. But she's kind of
she's locked down to the best
mute,
of our knowledge.
Yeah, and unmagical at the moment.
She does glamour. She doesn't do shape-shifting. She does she has to have the necklace, which means Lancelot would have to be wearing the necklace.
But I mean, he has armor on, so I mean, technically it could hide it, but...
And what is a random sticker on my... or technically Emma probably could because the Dark One can.
Very true.
I mean, she's in that room. I'm just saying, like...
In as far as we know, she's on the...
She's not that good yet.
The side of the angels.
At that point.
At that point.
Right.
So, plus, would she know... I guess she would know Lancelot because...
she was in that whole...
She was in the whole thing with Cora and all that.
the bubble.
Fake Lancelot. But it remains to be seen. I did enjoy the fact that we got a little bit of official backstory for Lancelot, that yes... The story you know about Lancelot and Guinevere and King Arthur went down in this version of Camelot pretty much how it did in the classic story, which also the name of Lancelot's chair, Siege Perilous, is actually from the Arthurian legend.
Good to know.
It also makes me wonder if maybe we might see Charming going after the Holy Grail sometime this season too. That'd be kind of fun, right? Because that's kind of that's the person who sits there is the one who's supposed to be able to recover the Holy Grail. So we'll see if that happens or not. You need coconuts for that to work.
I don't have any coconuts.
Oh, Angel T does bring up a good point. Would Zelina even know who Lancelot is? Maybe
she might have heard them talking about him at this point.
Yeah, maybe not. But then again, as we know with Once Upon a Time, these characters tend to have a history with each other that we don't know about.
Any idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, anything's possible.
Okay. So thing that's slightly Anne-Marie rant time. Why won't they let Emma help at all in Camelot? Yes, she's the Dark One, but at this point she doesn't understand how all the Dark One stuff is.
I enjoyed the Bewitched reference, though. Wiggle her nose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love. Because she's the only one who's going to get that. None of the rest of them get the Bewitched reference. I'm not saying that she needs to use her Dark One powers, but it's not like they're not even really letting her have an opinion or thoughts or even look through all of Merlin's books. She is still technically the savior to the best of their knowledge. Yeah. That's all they've got. She is the savior stuff.
Well, they know she still has the Dark One powers.
She has the Dark One powers, but she can have an opinion. Like, she can have a thought. They're not letting her contribute to her own saving.
Yeah.
And it's been a thing all along, pretty much, that she needs to save herself.
Yeah.
So she still needs to save herself.
Well, I think they're just like...
scared?
Well, it's kind of like, running a methadone clinic with a heroin addict right there. Like, you don't want to, you want them to, they're coming out of their addiction and everything, but at the same time, you don't want them near the meds. You don't want them accessing the meds because, I mean, it's really easy to relapse.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that she needs to even be using any of her magic in any way, shape, or form. Just give her the common courtesy of speaking. Yeah. Like... Granted, she does go, I can wiggle my nose and get him out of the tree. No, you probably can't. There's protections, there's things.
To be fair, too, at this point, like, Emma's a woman of action where Regina, Belle, they're the people who kind of are problem solvers. And always have been. And also know a lot about magic. Belle from, working in Gold's shop and studying all of his materials. And plus, she's good with books.
She is good with
books. And then
books.
Regina just has a lot of practical experience with practical magic that Sandra Bullock.
She was a Sandra Bullock movie?
Yeah.
Lots of strange witchy movies tonight. Okay, fine.
But yeah, so I mean, I see your point, but at the same time, I see why Emma's a little bit sidelined.
But I can see that, but it's like that almost would push her, in my eyes, like when people don't let you do what you know you can do, that makes you sort of push back, which is what's going to throw her into
Dark Swan mode.
Dark Swanness. Yeah. So I think that could contribute.
Bobby does mention that Regina was kind of a bee this episode. I didn't hear her buzz one time. Weird. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break here and then get back to the episode in a minute. But first of all, I thought this would be fun. This weekend, we went to Walt Disney World, as we're prone to do every weekend.
Surprise, surprise.
And, you know what? It's just very relevant to this
extremely
plot
relevant
line.
But we just happened upon it.
I was issued a challenge by people in Misthaven-esque garb. So we have a video of it. So we'll play it, and then we'll be right back for some more stuff.
Yeah, I do. I'm going to tell you. I'm meant to select this man right here. Here he comes. Woo! Here he comes. Give him a round of applause.
Bill.
Ah, yes, well, our Orlando is the land of the magic.
Magic.
He found it. Huzzah! One, two, three.
Pull, 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 pull.
Perhaps a slam dunk for you today, Bill. Let's see what we're doing.
Bill.
Yes, I failed at pulling the sword from the stone, so Emma couldn't have used my help at all this week.
No.
That's
However,
for
there
sure.
was a small girl from Alabama who can totally do it. So
Who could totally do it.
she right away.
By the way, I was totally kind of faking when I was trying to pull it. Yeah, I wasn't really trying because I wanted the little girl to get it.
How did you know that the little girl would do it?
Because I didn't. Okay.
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 So yeah, that was just fun.
So here, we wanted to tell you guys a little bit about our Patreon real quick. Anne-Marie, why don't you go ahead and give the spiel?
Hi, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/universebox where you can help all of our podcasts get so much better and so much more fun. It's a monthly donation system where you can sign up to donate 10 cents, $10, $5, $1, whatever you are able and willing to give to us to help make our show better. So far, we've done things like upgrade camera equipment. What else did we do? We upgraded our hosting thing. We got some new lighting. We've been doing all sorts of stuff with our Patreon money. We've also been holding monthly hangouts, you may have noticed. For our shows, creating some Storybrooke and Legends of Gotham. And, well, we have some new shows that are going to be coming up.
Yes.
We will be starting We're So Lost.
Yes.
Whenever the TV shows are on hiatus, we're going to be doing what are we calling it? The movie one. I'm having a moment. I'm sorry.
We don't have a name for it yet, but it will be reviewing TV shows, movies, like we do on Greetings.
Yes, similar to that. And we're also going to be starting a Disney podcast, short form, 15-minute, quick little nuggets of information and entertainment. So, but to help some of these get better and better, we appreciate some donations to help us keep getting better and better.
Yeah, and it looks like we actually, because we had unlocked patron movie commentaries, but it looks like we dipped a little below.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're down to $197.31 patrons. It's okay. Whoever had to drop
dip
out.
down. That's fine.
We
still
definitely
love
understand that, but we'd love to get back up there again. So if you want to donate at patreon.com/universebox, we'd really appreciate it. And all of our valid patrons for the month of October are going to be getting a sticker.
Yes, once I order those.
Yeah, once we
I
get
need to
them
get on
ordered and
that.
sent out, but sometime before the end of the month. So we want to thank our
Tomorrow's
31
to-do list.
our 31 patrons
Yes.
over at patreon.com/universebox, and hopefully we can get back up to 200
Woohoo,
soon.
that'd be great.
Definitely.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Ah! Okay.
Okay.
Next.
So next, okay, here we go. Okay, so I loved, as you all know, I'm a big fan of Captain Swan. I'm a big Captain Swan shipper. I'm one of the OG Captain Swan shippers.
You really are. Yeah.
Definitely. Team Bill Meeks from back in the day. But I really enjoyed Hook in this episode.
Hook. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep quoting movies tonight.
But he was he was kind of downtrodden in this episode, which was bad to see. But I really loved his characterization. You could tell, during the whole scene in the boat with Emma and everything, that he was looking for any reason at all to trust her.
Yeah.
He was just like, give me an excuse, Emma. Give me an excuse
something positive
to love you, to
trust you,
love you,
and
show me that you're the woman I love somewhere in there, and I'm here for you. But she didn't have it in her.
No.
It does seem that her strategy there, it seemed like a really long way to go just to have Hook point out the sword to her. Through most of it, it didn't even occur to me that she'd be looking for the sword. I just thought that he was the hero that she was looking for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the entire.
I thought she was gonna go for Arthur.
Really?
Yeah, I mean he pulled it out once.
Well, it was just like because I knew that she needed some sort of hero, and Hook has kind of redeemed himself and become a hero at this point. So I thought she was looking for someone heroic, and Hook was easily manipulated. But I really loved just a little minuscule thing in this episode that it kind of shows how Killian Hook has grown as a character over the past couple seasons, and that's that he thinks of himself as the villain in Rumpelstiltskin's story. Because he's the one who took Mila away from Rumple, who he calls a good man. Yeah. I think it shows a lot of growth in Hook's character, and he's finally accepted his part in this entire plot of Once Upon a Time.
Right.
I also really love that he called him Rumple a good man, because that's one of the things I've always loved about Rumpelstiltskin. He's a coward because he's trying to protect his family, Mila and Bay, until Hook takes Mila away. I mean, obviously, Mila was kind of complicit in that, too.
She was just running.
But, once that happens, then he uses his love for her and Bay as an excuse for all of his evil acts.
Yeah.
So I think it makes Rumple a nuanced character, and it's one of the reasons I love him so much. I also, Emma wearing the dress from their date, their big date where Hook had two hands. Real low blow, Dark Swan.
Real low blow, especially because I don't recall liking that because the outfit didn't seem very her. Mm-hmm. It already seemed like, but I'm not a Captain Swan fan. I never have been. Pale fire. But yeah, it seemed really, really mean. Like she was being manipulative, and he calls her out on it. He's like, "No, my Swan wouldn't play all these games. You're playing games. Stop it."
Quit playing games with my heart. Okay. My heart. Dark Swan.
What was I even saying? The dress, the games. Oh, he gives her a chance, when he's like, what's behind that door in your house that you don't want me to see? And she's basically like, oh, I'm going to hide that from your pretty little eyes anyway. I'm like, he's giving you chance after chance, and you're like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like it.
Yeah, it was a little sad.
It was a little sad.
A little sad. But I really loved the Captain Swan. Even though it didn't turn out like all romantic or anything, I thought it was probably some of the most interesting stuff going on in the episode for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Knights of the Round Table. So Arthur says that many of the Knights of the Round Table are kings and princes in their own realms. Huh? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know real Arthurian or whatever legend type stuff.
It's not even real Arthurian legend. Just how kind of the power structures were back then. Like you had the king, and then you had and I could be getting this completely wrong. Please, someone correct me if I am.
They will.
But you had a lords who were basically like they were kind of like if the king was like say the governor of the state. Then the lords were like the mayors of all the individual towns. No,
I get that. Thank you, Downton Abbey, for helping me with that. But no, he straight up said that they were kings and princes, though.
Yeah, well, what I'm guessing is that, Camelot is kind of, so...
You're thinking Camelot's up here and the others are down here?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's branch that up a little bit. If King Arthur is the president, then all these princes and the other knights are the governors of the various states, or you could say they were senators or something like another analogy like that. But basically, King Arthur's at the top of the pile, and then the other knights and stuff they're not subservient to him. That's why he has the round table, right? They're more like they're equals towards the cause, but he is slightly above them because he's the one organizing them.
But
he's club president.
See, that's the part that confuses me. It's like, so I can get if they were like all working towards a common goal of some sort, but what is the common goal? Because in my head, it's all like, they're the Knights of the Round Table in Camelot, like they're there to protect Camelot, and I know you're saying that they're like the governors, and I don't 100% buy that. that there are an excessive amount of kingdoms in the Enchanted Forest that are very large.
I don't think it's necessarily they're all working towards a common goal, but that goal is not necessarily the protection of Camelot, but it's the peace and safety of all of the subjects in all of the lands. You know, they're united, not they're united to as a group, so they're not against each other, and they can face any outside enemy from that group, you know, with great force.
Okay, that one I can see. That one I can see a little bit. But then, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's going to affect loyalties in certain situations where, you know, somebody's going to attack this kingdom, but this guy doesn't want to help, even though they're Knights of the Round Table, because it doesn't go against. They have an agreement with that person. And
I think that's part of the point of the organization or kind of the alliance, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Magical UN, people are saying. Maybe. I don't know. I still don't understand. Continue. Okay. Theory. Okay, so as we all know, at the end of the episode, Rumple awakens. And you're the dark one now.
Yeah, Emma basically says, you know, you're not dark or light, so you're able to be molded. I think Rumple is going to become the new savior. I know this whole time we've thought it would be Regina, but we get glimpses of her evil side in this episode with Zelena. Like, she kind of says in that private sisterly moment there, you know, I still have some bite. I can still buzz as a bee if need be, as Bobby so succinctly put it. So I think that you know, I think it's going to be Rumpelstiltskin is going to be the ultimate savior here. I think Dark Swan Emma is going to try to mold him into the hero that can pull the sword out and all that, but he's going to break free because, you know, Rumple, he's been around the block a few times.
He's feisty. He's old though.
Yeah, but I mean, he has some tricks up his sleeve, so I think he's going to bust out of that, take down the Dark Swan, and be the savior this town needs. I think by the end of the season or the half season, I think he's going to end up being pretty similar to the hero version of Rumple we saw in Heroes and Villains in the season finale last year. But and Monica says, "Eek, savior Rumple." But what do you think about that?
I could kind of, I guess, see him being a savior. It just, the entire thing had me feeling a little icky or weird. Like, she stole everything from Belle. Like, everything Belle has been like, and we didn't even know she, like, knew that was going on.
Yeah.
Really, and how did she know that she needed something from before he was the Dark One? And, like, things like that seemed a little, like, fuzzy to me. But I mean, I guess we could see him being the hero. It's just awkward now. It's been 4 seasons of Dark One Rumple. I'm having adjustment.
Well, I think we've seen him have redemptive moments, but now that he's free of the Dark One, now that he's cured of his Dark One-ness, like I think seeing a full on redemption arc for him, like we've seen for Regina, would be good. And I also think
that would be good, but I don't feel it's going to be the Dark One that gives it to him.
But I don't think necessarily the Dark One is going to be the way he gets it, but I don't think it's going to be given to him by the Dark One. I think, you know, the Dark One's going to enable him to redeem himself and to, you know, because I mean, the thing is, Rumpelstiltskin now has been around for, what, 150 years or whatever?
No, it's like 300 years.
Was it 300?
Yes.
I thought it was less than that. But anyway, he's been around for a long, long time. He's used to having a lot of power, and now that he doesn't have the Dark One entity dragging him down, I think if the Dark One enables him to be this sort of hero, I think he's going to turn that around and be the best hero we've ever seen, because he's used to wielding great power and being able to you know, sort of, I wouldn't say necessarily manipulate people, even though that's what he's done so far. You know, be able to affect people and inspire people to do things. And so I think now we're going to see that incredible ability that Rumpelstiltskin has turn towards good, turn towards the light side. Right now he's a blank slate, like Dark Swan says. But I kind of see that happening.
Okay. I guess I sort of turned talked about my point in your point there. So along with stealing the sword from Hook, she steals Belle's healing potion and Rumple. How is he going to be the hero to pull from the sword and the stone? We sort of already talked about. Is because his heart's 100% pure. Yes, pretty much. I'd have preferred to see her try and kiss it out.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed that.
That was definitely a lot of fun.
Have you tried kissing it out? Yeah. So bromance.
Okay, yes, bromance. Charming and Arthur's bromance that kind of develops in a couple of time periods throughout this episode. First of all, I thought that the conversation between them on their way to find the mushroom was a little weak in my mind.
Yeah.
Because, while it was them trying to get to know each other and everything, at the same time, it really wasn't telling the audience a lot of information.
It felt a little smarmy to me. Like, I felt like this was another one of those things where I felt Arthur knew about Charming. And so, they've known the Charmings are lying from the beginning, I think. And so everything that he's saying about him and Guinevere, it gives Charming the chance to go, oh, me too. Oh, my wife too. Da-da-da-da. We do this, we do this, we do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, it felt very fakey. Excuse me. So,
like Arthur was just trying to find places to.
He was trying to make him trust him. He was trying to make Charming trust him and do all that because he knew he was going to steal the mushroom. He already knew he was going to steal the mushroom.
Yeah, and that's probably why he volunteered for the quest in the first place, because he didn't want them to get their hands on that mushroom.
Right.
Almost makes me wonder if maybe Arthur didn't have some hand in turning Merlin into a tree to begin with.
Thank you very much. Yes. Something like that.
Which could be one of the reasons why he's the villain, like Lancelot.
Well, we don't know what he keeps talking about. All of Merlin's prophecies. Where are the prophecies? How do we get them? How were they delivered? I still need to know that. Sorry, I've completely trumped your point.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
Continue.
But I did enjoy, even though that scene was kind of lacking to me, I did enjoy the line, somebody who isn't competitive doesn't need a 2-ton table to keep them humble.
Yeah.
I thought
that was fun.
I thought that was a fun line, and also it pointed out a little bit about Arthur too, that he tries to present himself as the goodly king, but at the same time he's kind of a
not so much.
Yeah, not so much. But I also like you. I thought it was interesting that Charming wants to be remembered for more than just the Snow White thing, and I also thought it was interesting that Arthur kind of uses this against him to get him to sit in that chair towards the end. I think Arthur gives Charming that seat at the round table, not because he thinks he necessarily deserves it, but because he wants to keep him close because he doesn't trust these people.
Right.
Like I think that's very obvious even before he finds out that that Emma is the Dark One. I think he just doesn't trust these people. He doesn't want them necessarily to fulfill Merlin's prophecy. So he wants to keep who he considers to be one of their leaders, Charming, close.
Right.
So which is why he gives him the seat in Siege Perilous and everything. So I thought that was interesting. And again, with Arthur driving, he probably should have been the one handling the 2x4 against the squire.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. We kind of mentioned this, but how has Merlin being a tree not come up since they've been in Storybrooke? I think that was established before they went. No, I guess it wasn't.
No, it was because he was in the courtyard, right?
They were in the courtyard, but the thing is, Arthur still knows it. I don't think the whole quest of why they were in Camelot has come up yet.
Well, I think definitely that Arthur is keeping a lot of information close to the vest.
They're all keeping a lot.
He's killing his beloved squire to keep that information close to the vest.
Beloved. He treated him like crap in Camelot.
Yeah.
And it was pointed out to him. So there was that. Oh, yeah. Shouldn't they have sat down and talked about all the prophecies that had been made since their memories were wiped starting when they walked into Camelot? They know there are 6 weeks missing. He went to find them where they were because it was a prophecy. Why was there that prophet? I have issues. This is like me going, timelines, people, timelines. I just want to know, why that hasn't come up. How that hasn't come up.
Well, I think at this point they're kind of under attack in Storybrooke. they're not so concerned with I mean, they are to a degree because they're looking through the books. They're trying to piece together what happened. But the more pressing concern is their daughter is the Dark One, and she's after them now.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's taking a lot of precedence, especially considering she's not just like floating around, hanging out in her big mansion and all this stuff. She's going after the dwarfs, taking their axes. She's confronting Hook. And, there's some other things going on with some of the other characters, like Zelina's baby, Regina's boyfriend, dealing with that stuff. Rumple's up now, so I'm sure that's going to be a big deal next episode. There's a lot of stuff going on in the current time, so there's not a lot of time to be like, okay, let's connect the dots about what happened back here.
But if you can't connect the dots from the past, you're not going to know what's happening in the present or why it's happening.
Very true, but
shouldn't Zelina be showing?
Think back to, like, say, was it the first or second episode where that big wraith thing comes into town? There's a constant present threat. And even in this episode where they might have a magic beam to send everyone back to Camelot. And, they might be able to just put things right. So
went wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of active present day threats. So I can understand why they've been a little hesitant to kind of try and fill in the blanks of the past.
Okay.
Plus the flashbacks are doing that for us, the audience.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, a couple little quibbles and bits to finish out. I was kind of surprised that Rumple's place is still an active pawn shop.
Who is pawning things in Storybrooke?
I guess people need money, I
Who's
guess.
pawning a bean?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm finding a bean, I'm getting out of there.
And who was running it while Belle was off in Camelot? Blue?
Another dwarf. It's always
Possibly.
another dwarf.
But yeah, I was just surprised it was still an active pawn shop. I figured it would be more like just his base of operations now, Right. And I also really enjoyed the quest storyline. It felt with Arthur and Charming. It felt very season 1 Wonderland too. Actually, more Wonderland than anything.
No, they went after a mushroom.
Like even the villains, the reassembling knight,
the Phantom
armor.
Knights.
Yeah. Felt very Wonderland to me, and the mushroom. It almost made me wonder if maybe we're going to get some more callbacks, which I
have
go
that
ahead,
too.
Go ahead.
So one of the relics is poison from Agrabah vipers. Agrabah. This can't be a common thing because didn't we need a portal-y type thing to get to and from there?
You mean Agrabah?
Whatever. What did I say?
Agrabah.
Whatever. Agrabah. It's because I wrote it in my notes that way, so I just copied it down. It can't be that common to travel. So are we going to get some sort of a Wonderland tie-in, or maybe Sydney because of the vipers that killed?
We could get a flashback with like Jafar. That would be cool.
That would be glorious. I can feel squeals coming without even looking. The use of the viper poison can't be chosen as an accident. There's a reason that wasn't stolen from the relics, and that's how he chose to kill and make disappear the squire. That's the part that got me. I'm like, okay, you killed him. But then he poofed away in green smoke.
Yeah, because that...
What was that?
I forgot about the fact that Sidney Glass used that, too.
Yes. Well, he used the viper.
Yeah. So there's definitely something there. Like, if nothing else, that kind of like a Rumple's... I was hoping Rumple's vault would be from a couple seasons back. Like that relic box. I forget the precise name at the moment, but that could be a really good story engine. We could see some good stories come out of that later on down the line. So definitely something to keep an eye on for sure. For sure. Okay, let's see here.
Ooh, you didn't put anything.
I didn't put any what? I always come up with these on the spot. What are you talking about? Okay, let's see here.
You do, but normally by now is the on the spot.
Okay, so out of 14 bags of food from Granny's with a very personalized message that Granny shouldn't have passed on.
She should have known better than to pass that one on, too.
How many bags of food from Granny's would you give this episode?
14?
14.
12 and an order of onion rings.
Why?
Because I really, really liked it. Like, for as many, like, craziness things that I have, I think that it was amazing. I think we got places. Things were happening. It was lots of goodness. Lots of badness, but lots of goodness. I really liked Charming. I really, really, really did. I didn't put this, but I liked the, when they were all clapping for Charming at the end and Snow took the baby out because he was upset. I'm like, thank you for a real mother moment.
Yeah.
The amount of times I have walked out of something with a screaming, crying, kicking, biting, sneezing child, I would be rich if I had $1 every time.
Yeah, the whole baby crying because of the loud clapping and stuff. I thought that was a very realistic moment,
Which
too.
was nice because you definitely don't get a lot of that because, well, the baby's not realistic at this point. I don't understand. The kid doesn't age. Everyone else slightly, no. So.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with, let's see, Monica and Liz in the chat room here.
Oh,
and
you're giving a straight 13.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
Okay.
with 13 bags of food from Granny's and a phone with a picture of Zelina's uterus as well. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Like, I had a couple quibbles and bits with it. Like I said, the charming Arthur conversation in the woods was a little weak to me. And, why did Granny pass along the message from Emma?
Well, I mean, if the dark one is giving you a message to pass on, though, Granny's pretty much all about protecting.
But I really enjoyed it. I was glad to see Rumpelstiltskin back up and running. 2 of them, actually. Double
I was
Rumple.
hoping Rumple would be able to see Rumple.
Yeah.
I wanted that to happen.
Yeah, actually, like I'm holding out hope that happens eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I really, really liked it. What? Any more from the chat room?
Oh yeah, we got a bunch. Okay, let's see. Amy P gives it 12, Monica 13, Liz 13, Sage 11.2, Hope 9, Angel 12. There you go.
Hope says 9 bags, not the best episode this season. It was still good. It just felt like it dragged. And 14 bromances for Lancelot's return. And Angel's 12 bags of food. It was a pretty good episode, but there have definitely been better episodes.
Bobby gives it a 10.
A 10. And I believe we have a voicemail from Bobby, so we'll hear a bit
We'll hear
more
why.
Why
soon.
Coming up right after the what?
I don't know.
You're supposed to do it with me.
No, now I'm mad at you because you didn't join in with me.
Okay, we'll do it in 3. Okay.
Okay, bye.
3, 2, 1.
News.
First up, the ratings. ABC's Once Upon a Time and Quantico pulled in the top ratings among broadcast
crash.
scripted shows. Both scored a 1.6 among adults 18 to 49.
And I went back and looked at the adjusted ratings for last week because with sports going on, there's always some adjustments. However, ones didn't change last week. So there's that.
Okay, and next up, we'll go ahead and look at the promo for next week, which is called The Broken Kingdom. Let me make sure it's not turned up too loud here. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and watch this. I haven't even seen this yet, so this should be
really?
Yeah, so let's
You're
see.
the savior.
That was kind of like a half glittery Rumple.
Next Sunday.
For years, I've hunted his missing piece, something known as the Dagger of the Dark One.
It's
The Dagger of the Dark One. We know all about that.
We can't trust Arthur.
that can defeat
Thank
the
you.
darkness.
And Snow's
We must hide.
But
checking
it
in.
stands between them and saving
Why does
their
Snow have the
You followed us.
Dark
You're
One
gonna hand over
dagger?
that dagger.
To save
Once
the...
upon a time.
I mean,
Next
I didn't
Sunday
write
at
the
8,
episode.
Did she steal it from Regina?
I don't know.
Wait, tell me.
I don't know.
This next episode is written by Anne-Marie DeSimone. I know this to be true. No, but it looks like an interesting episode. Like I really am curious as to why Snow has that dagger.
This is my magical powers towards you. I've never been good at these.
Okay,
Okay.
and also Adam Horowitz, if you don't know him, he's
may
one
have
of the
heard of
creators
him.
of the show. No, but he announced on Twitter this week that the episode on 11/15 is going to be a double episode, and I believe it's going to be who is it? Mulan,
Red, and
Merida.
Merida. It's
are
going to
all
be their
gonna be-
adventure.
Yeah, it'll be a big old team up episode.
We will. I think I have this somewhere down here, but we will get Merida again before then. But that's happening.
Yeah, but
And weren't we talking about how that's probably? Do we think that's the mid-season? Because that seems really early.
yeah, it seems like it could be. Why don't you go ahead and read this next story, and I'll investigate further.
Okay. I found a couple of articles talking about. All the New York Comic-Con news over the Hollywood Reporter. Emma is still the savior, Morrison explained. It's not that she's not Emma. She's the savior with darkness in her. Emma is a constant cauldron of conflict. She's constant conflict of dark and light, and sometimes doing things for the right reasons, but doing it in a dark way. AKA, let her save Merlin. Another article from over on Mashable. Okay, no one's going to like this. I don't like this. Made me a little grumpy.
By the way, we do have a couple more episodes after that one.
Okay, good. Well, that's encouraging.
It'll be kind of like it was last season.
That's the is that the week before that holiday with turkey, Thanksgiving? That holiday with turkey.
No, it's earlier than that, but I think that's around sweeps. So
that would explain it. Okay, Mashable. It's half season format. Sorry, y'all. It's as has been custom with Once Upon a Time. This season is essentially split up into 2 parts: 5A's Dark Swan arc and 5B's yet unrevealed master plot. We do know that the second half will kick off with the series' landmark 100th episode, and that in it things could get a little hairy for our fearless heroes. So there's that.
Dun, 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 dun.
Last but not least, one character we should not expect to see on Once this year: legendary enchantress Morgan Le Fay.
Which a lot of my theories last week concerned.
Right.
Won't be seeing her.
As Horace explained, there's only so much we can put in, which is true.
But then again, with the way they are sometimes,
Yes.
like it's very possible that she might actually be a big reveal like later on in the season too. You never know. You never know. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and get on to our listener feedback here. As always, when you get done watching the episode, go out on a date with the one you love, reject them.
Oh!
Then once they leave your boat, email us greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com.
Once they poof off of your boat.
Tweet us at GSStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And first up, as usual, Bobby.
Hey guys, it's Bobby.
Hey Bobby, it's
no
guys.
surprise, Arthur's being shady. I don't want to necessarily say he's evil per se at this moment, but let's face it, he did have one of his subjects drink the Agrabah Kool-Aid. Almost came off a bit Jonestownish or something. Drink this for the good of your people. But I still feel like there's something more to that. As far as like maybe he's spent so long protecting Camelot that he feels like he's doing everything for the good of his people, you know. And then at this point, I almost wonder if like he was the one that put Merlin in the tree. I think Anne-Marie said something about that. And then as far as Emma goes, at this point, I kind of wonder if she sent them all to Storybrooke to save them from Arthur and whatnot.
I could see that.
I don't know, but I like not knowing because it, you know, keeps me surprised when things happen. I guess I'll give this 7 of 10 resurrected rose petals.
Nice. Thank you very much, Bobby. Oh, and Hope in the chat room pointed out that we are getting an episode with Kid Hook and his dad, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yes.
And she hopes that his dad is Davy Jones,
That could be interesting.
like from the Monkees.
I don't think that's
I'm a
Davy.
daydream believer. Dark Swan believer.
Nice.
Okay, speaking of music though, Don Owar called in real quick because I think we were speculating
We
what
were
kind
about
of
the
music Henry would like. So let's see here.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. This
Howdy.
is Donna War. I think Fallout Boy. Henry would listen to Fallout Boy. That's who he would listen to.
I like that.
I like it. It
Definitely.
totally makes sense to me.
I don't know enough about Fallout Boy to refute it. So do you want to read this one from
Sure.
Amy?
This is from Amy P. Hey guys, I had started listening to Once podcast.
Oh, and by the way, Amy mentions that she wrote this before she knew about the Morgana Le Fay.
I'm sure. Once podcast this morning about the episode The Price, when one of their feedback emails suggested that Morgana or Black, I don't know the names right, Fairy, was in the tree instead of Merlin. The first thought that came to my mind is, what if Morgana was the black dark evil fairy? I don't have any proof that she is or anything, and someone might have already had this theory, but I thought I would share my crazy theory with you. Besides, since King Arthur and Merlin are involved this season, it would be a little surprise if we did not at least hear about her at some point, since she is supposed to be Merlin's enemy. Thanks, Amy P.
I agree, but according to Adam, no, which probably means yes, because he's messing us
It's
around.
probably all next episode. It's all her.
Yeah, she'll show up in the first 2 minutes of next episode, guaranteed. I crazy theory from me, the black fairy is the blue fairy is Johanna.
Johanna did it.
Liz, take it away.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. It's Elizabeth Placencia.
Hello.
I had a lot of fun at the Hangout last Thursday.
Yay.
I'm very excited about our potential double date on the 24th. It should be a lot of fun, and hopefully people will want to come and join us. So about this episode, I'm just going to start off with my prediction. I am thinking that Merlin is stuck in that tree because of Arthur. I believe Arthur somehow was able to use magic to put Merlin in that tree. Maybe Merlin had made a prophecy that Arthur was going to turn evil or do something evil, and Arthur felt threatened and somehow magicked Merlin into the tree. So that's my prediction. What do you guys think? Now, I thought of this episode. First off, I really enjoyed Charming's role this week. I knew he was going to become a knight early on in the episode. I just totally saw that one coming. And then shouldn't baby Neil be like 1 year old, a 1 year old by now? Shouldn't he be walking or at least crawling by now? That kid should be growing is all I'm saying. Okay, and then if I start to talk about Emma, I might get a little frustrated, but here goes. I don't like how Emma is using Hook. Ugh, I mean, Hook is right. The real Emma didn't play games, but she's the dark one now, and the dark one loves to play games. I'm really glad Hook didn't fall for her shenanigans. He's too smart and knows how the dark one operates too well. So, out of 75 toadstools, I give this episode 74 toadstools. Bye, guys.
74? 75? 75 toadstools.
Lots of toadstools.
Hoop says in the chat room, Johanna will rise back from the dead and it will all make sense once she explains everything.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep, it'll all make sense.
Definitely. You want to read this from Charity over on Facebook?
Sure. Okay. Disappointed in the direction Once Upon a Time is going. I can only guess my expectations of the show are too high, but every year I hope for the best, regardless of the season before. I do believe that David was spot on, and I was happy with his part. I was willing to give the knight's apparent villain the benefit of the doubt up until the jail scene. I can only hope for a shapeshifter to restore my hope, because that is the only plot device I can think of to fix all to my satisfaction. I can say that I adore the costumes, which is the norm for the show. Now it's from Charity.
Thank you very much, Charity.
Just
okay.
like Mom.
Next up, we have a voicemail from Michael. Take it away, Michael.
Hey, Bill and Anne-Marie, it's Michael. I'll try to keep this short because I know y'all are going to get a lot of messages for this one.
I will say that we actually, we evened out from last week where we had like 40 minutes worth of messages.
Yes.
This week we had about 10 or 11, which is
perfect.
Pretty much perfect. So, you know, I mean, obviously anyone can submit anytime. Other people can submit for sure. But yeah, it turned out really good this week.
It was nice.
So.
Thank you.
I really liked the ending.
Also, Michael's coming to us live from Misthaven.
The best part of this episode, definitely. King Arthur being evil. Nobody saw that coming. And, well, maybe some of us did, but I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. But I would say the best thing you can do is just don't concentrate on what you wish the story was, but concentrate on what the story is actually doing and then judge it after that. So I'm remaining open-minded. I think this is a really interesting twist, and I especially can't wait to see how Emma's going to make Rumpelstiltskin the hero of all this. That last scene was one of the best parts of this new season for me personally. So can't wait to see what happens. Thought it was kind of a slow episode, but still that ending really saved it for me. I would give this 3 out of 4 magically appearing tablecloths. All right, take care, y'all. Bye.
Nice. Hope in the chat room says, I still think Arthur is an antagonist and not a villain. That means not necessarily like a villain, but like the person who happens to be working against the protagonist of the story. I could see that. I could definitely like that. That's what I'm saying as far as like perspective.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess it's about
to Arthur, the Charmings and Emma and all of our main heroes, all of our main characters are the villain, are the antagonist to him.
right.
You know, so obviously he's coming off as the antagonist to them because they're butting heads.
Butting heads a little. The only thing that confuses me, or sort of makes me believe with that, is the fact that Guinevere seemed confused that he had stolen the mushroom. He's like, you lied to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was maybe he's not so villainy.
I was last week. I was thinking that Guinevere was
the big bad.
Yeah, behind everything. Mm-hmm. But that definitely gave me pause. Okay, next up is Anthony. Hoops, take it away.
Hi, Bill and Anne-Marie. This
Howdy.
is Anthony speaking. Hoops 900. So I just got finished with the episode, and mind you, right now it's 5:17 in the morning, so I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet.
What you doing up that early,
man? So my thoughts on this episode were all over the place as usual. I'm always excited to tell you how I felt about the episode. So, you guys, I just very excited right now because it's in the middle of the night, early morning, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm speechless except for the parts where Arthur is evil. This is such a plot twist. Like, I don't know what to say from here, but some points that I had came up on with Arthur doing anything and everything for his kingdom, and him, basically being a ride or die type of person. So, I mean, it's like he's willing to do anything for his kingdom. I like the fact that the backstory is well explained, and how Lancelot was basically siege Perilous. So, and that seems to be a very big role in, how this season is basically, going to go with, as far as origin story. So I really like the way that this was, used as a backstory, and how you're talking about, Arthur's knights. So also I like the fact that I want to touch bases on Gold. I like the fact that Emma is going to be using him as basically a hero who basically has the heart of the Pier's heart, basically, and started with a.
We've seen a red heart. We've seen a black heart.
Now
he's
going to
have
heart.
A transparent heart.
Clean slate and.
Heart of glass.
Oh, really?
Once had love, and it was a blast. Come to find out, how a heart of glass.
Getting to be a part of her evil plot in order to, pick up the sword and just for her bidding. Like, overall, this episode was great. I loved everything about it. If I had to rate it, I would rate it probably 25 Rumpelstiltskin very bright, white, pure hearts out of 25, basically. Like, this episode was very huge and big for me. Like I had mentioned, my points are almost everywhere, so I'm just going to leave you with my thoughts here and what I basically said in the voicemail. So, looking forward to hearing your thoughts, and I can't wait for the episode. Thanks.
Thank you, Hooves.
Thank you.
That was an amazing message. I really enjoyed that.
I love it. Feel free to go to sleep and then wake up and then call us.
We guarantee. This is the greetings from Storybrooke guarantee. We will play your voicemail as long as it comes between 5 and 6 a.m. Every time. Doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes long.
No, we're playing that. Okay.
Okay, here we have a letter from Ashley. Ashley says, hey, Ann and Bill. Wow, tonight could be subtitled Bro Questing or Fishy Fishy Things Everywhere. I loved how David got to be a knight and everything. Oh my gosh, the armor was gorgeousness. I think that there's either some glamour going on or something too. Also, thieves all over this town, I tell you. Yes, I enjoyed how they're like, my wife is awesome, having a my wife is awesome contest. Oh man, it's getting all cloak and dagger up in here, Rimshot. And toadstools. I love that the torch was supposed to be from the burning bush, and that all of that, especially with the Holy Grail legend, nice tie in there. A lot of biblical stuff, definitely. Which I mean, in Anglo-Saxon, they pretty common. Hashtag shady people everywhere. I bet Morgana or maybe even the Black Fairy is behind some of this too. Maybe not Morgana, unless Adam's lying, which probably is.
It probably is.
And oh my gosh, Emma's gonna train Rumple.
I love the fact that you're reading Ashes because normally I do.
Emma's gonna train Rumple to be the light one. XD. Oh, you just like a. Very circular considering how he helped her dad. And Hook, you just keep digging yourself deeper and deeper and deeper into holes. Facepalm. Not going to end well. And I think Zelina in small doses is the best thing to do. Just a little stain here or there. Keep her mute for the most part, though. I'm going to give this one 8.5 enchanted rose petals out of 10. Cheers and hugs, Ash. Thank you very much, Ash.
Love it, Ash.
Okay, and and you do usually
I
read
was
those
about
ones,
to
yeah.
start reading it when you started. I was like, I'm gonna let this go.
Oh, hi, Todd Whitehead in the chat room.
Oh, he came
by
and
the
left.
way. Okay,
He'll be back.
excellent. Okay, next up is Tim. Take it away, Tim.
Anne-Marie, Bill, this is Tim calling back about Siege Perilous. Okay, so many thoughts. So, firstly, I liked the Emma and Hook storyline this episode. However, there is a shawl formerly belonging to Balefire in Rumpelstiltskin's shop somewhere because he took it to New York. Unless that got destroyed somehow, I don't know how that would happen, but maybe it did. But why didn't they just use that to wake up Rumpelstiltskin? Okay. Secondly, I really liked the idea of turning Rumpelstiltskin to be a hero so that he could get the sword in the stone. I think that will be a rather interesting storyline. How exactly does somebody turn someone to a hero? I don't quite know. Maybe force them to perform heroic actions? I don't quite know.
If I learned anything from Hercules, it's that you get turned from 0 to hero just like that.
0 to hero.
So why put David in the Siege Perilous chair? Maybe to put a target on his back? Just saying, that's probably the most coveted seat at the round table. It's for the most virtuous knight. We've seen some of the knights, particularly old Sir Kay, not being the best company at the round table. I don't know, we'll have to see.
Hope says in the chat room that Jane Espenson said on Twitter that Belle was looking for that Shaw right when the two guys came in. Yeah, very interesting.
Finally, possibly one of my favorite scenes in the entire show, Robin Hood and Captain Hook in a diner talking about the sonogram of the Wicked Witch of the West. Only on this show. Jousting in a truck. Only on this show. I just have no words for the insanity that I feel about this show, but I love it so much. In fact, I haven't loved it this much since the Neverland story, and I love that to the extreme. So I'm loving these episodes. I'm giving this 8.5 truck jousts out of 10. Yes, there needs to be a name for truck jousting. This is Tim. Goodbye.
Bye, Tim. Thank
you.
Also, Todd Whitehead popped in the chat room there, and we're all set up over on Alpha Geek as far as like streaming live video and all that stuff too. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Todd.
Definitely. Thank you, Todd. Okay, and I think we have just one more voicemail, right, from Patty. So take it away, Patty.
Hey guys, it's me. I just finished watching the episode, which I thought was really interesting. I liked the Super Mario reference, and I think I would just like to say you guys really called it about King Arthur. At first I thought you guys were insane because obviously the new coming individuals were strangers, and at first I'm like, well, they're probably just suspicious, they don't know who they are, and a natural tendency of not completely giving them 100% trust is natural. But at this point, at the end of the episode, I can say that Arthur's a bit paranoid, and they're being paranoid. I mean, at this point you could tell like David's a good guy, he should trust him, but he doesn't. So that just leaves him as being a potential new villain. So we'll see what happens. I'll see what you gotta say. Bye.
Thank you very much, Patty.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that mushroom was pretty Mario-esque.
It was pretty Mario-esque, I guess.
Wonder if they'd eaten it if they'd grown like big.
Well, we don't know how it works yet.
Very true.
Maybe
we haven't seen them use it at all.
Or their, I don't know, vocal cords grow or something.
Yeah, and Todd Whitehead in the chat room says, "Welcome to the network." Thank you, Todd.
We're very happy
welcome.
to be there.
Definitely.
For
Okay,
sure.
so like I said, next week when you get done with your dinner from Granny's, you're gonna have a little food poisoning, and then your boyfriend's gonna
Granny
reject
is not
you.
going to give you food poisoning.
It's okay. While you're laying there in your bed, healing up from the food poisoning and the rejected love and all that stuff, email us, greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. Tweet us at GFStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352.
And if you send them between 5 and 6 in the morning, we're totally
We will
playing
definitely play them, especially if they're 20 minutes long.
We're getting one this week. You know,
Probably.
we're going to get one. Hope already promised.
No, actually, I know for a fact that on the Google Voice line that we use for voicemails, the time limit's 3 or 4 minutes, so we should be good. Nice. Hopefully.
Yeah, we have people who do MP4 stuff.
Okay, so Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on the Twitter at DeSimone.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do at
blogs, all sorts of things.
Universebox.com, which, by the way, Universebox, we do have a Back to the Future episode coming up next week.
And that other thing.
Leftovers.
Man, my brain is not functioning.
Also, keep an eye on that feed for a very special announcement that I need to put out that I forgot to put out last week.
Woo!
But we'll do it soon.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess that about does it for this week. Anne-Marie, any other business to take care of?
Monica, it's not just orange juice.
Also, if you want to help support the show, you can go to greetingsfromstorybrooke.com/support, get t-shirts, a watch.
T-shirts, flasks, drinking cups, mugs. There's a hat or something. It would be fun. Lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, so go ahead and check out that page if you want to. And if you're at Disney World anytime, let us know. We'll meet up with you.
Yes, please. We'd love to meet up at Disney World.
But I guess that about does it for this week. So until next time,
greetings from Storybrooke.
Hiya. Wait, let's dance. We did it again!
We did it!
For the 142nd time! We did it! 142 episodes. We're almost to episode 150 already.
Hey, I think, is 150 going to be right around the double episode?
Probably.
Hold on, there's a calendar.
Probably.
Wait, I have a calendar back here.
Oh, yeah, hold on. They can't see that. There we go.
They can't. Oh, now they can?
Now they can.
Okay.
That was sent in to us by Patty, by the way.
Okay, this is today.
Hoops wants all of her merch. Go buy it.
44, 45, 46, 47. What's the date?
And also, Hoops, if you buy that, feel free to send us pictures of you in it, and we'll show them on the show.
Totally. What day was the double episode?
11:15.
That'll be our 147.
147.
So
probably
148 might be the mid-season. Or our 150th will probably be mid-season.
The mid-season finale. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that would
It'll
be
be
very
right around
appropriate.
there.
And then we'll come back with, or maybe it'll no, because we'll do commentaries in the interim.
We'll do commentaries.
So yeah.
No, we won't because we're so lost.
Very true.
We have an episode for every episode.
Very
Don't
true.
mind us. This is what we call brainstorming.
We're planning on the stream.
Planning on the stream.
But I guess it doesn't matter because it looks like all of our listeners are planning a podcast of their
I know.
own.
They're all going to do podcasts all over, you know.
Oh, and thank you, Todd. Todd, I guess watched it on his television set.
Holla! Yay!
Which is great. Yay! Thank you, Todd.
That's awesome.
Glad you enjoyed it for sure. Hey, Todd, if you watch Once Upon a Time, we'd love to have you send in a voicemail or something sometime.
Absolutely.
If you want to, for sure. I said all the contact information like 5 minutes ago. Just rewind.
I'm sure he was listening.
Rewind on your television. Or
Rewind. No.
You've already aggregated a lot of the information for Alpha Geek from our website, so you know the drill. Okay. Well, thanks, guys.
Yes, we got to get going. It's Gotham night, too.
It is Gotham night. So we gotta
Gotham
watch.
Monday. Whoop, whoop.
Yep. Okay, so have a
Bye,
good night, guys. Bye.